The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Think of all that time. Every wait in the winter. All that time. No one else saw. Every sprint in the summer. Every sacrifice. Early mornings on the levee. Late nights in the film room. Bus rides to playoff games. Every bump in the road. Every moment of ecstasy. Every moment of doubt. Years wondering, is it all worth it? It's all led to this. Man, I got this. It's a 60-minute drive for a 60-minute game. After all the miles we've traveled, we're almost there. After all the hours we've worked, one more can make us legends. After all that time, this is our time. Caveman on the line. HG got the stats.
No filters, no suits, just facts on blast.
He seems like no nonsense guy. Like
re-emphasize that for the Saints fans out there on TikTok. Caveman. What did you just say?
The rebuild starts right now. Marshawn Lattimore's gone, so the defense, but we're not getting any better.
We break it all down like overtime.
Looking to get it into Smith. What a pass! That's game! Daniel Smith with the game winner! Oh my goodness! And that is why you have Aaron Fry pass the ball.
No filters, no fake control. We run the plays, we own the soul.
For real, like you have you have the best quarterback in the league, arguably, the best wide receiver in the league, and you've got the best edge rusher in terms of total sacks this season. You're 4-7, and your playoff chances are hanging on by it.
Reading the field like a poet in rhyme.
Let's make it interesting.
We're making it interesting. Come on. Give us the freaking one.
Oh, let's go!
Oh, no.
Put him in.
This not the
Put him in.
We see through the hype, call out the thief. This ain't a game, this is
watch every game the rest of the season in the NBA.
So don't you go stand in your nose to see that. You're such a hater.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
For your
All right, everyone. You are looking live at Tilt Final Whistle. HG and Caveman back in the house. One last time.
The last souvenir. One
This
last ride.
is the last
Call.
Last show in the WorkSimple Studio for a while. I'm going to be moving on the 11th of May, so I got one more week left. Be one last week on the grindstone at work, and I'll be able to get out of town. I got a few days early. I'll be hanging out in Louisiana too, so I can get used to where I'm at and all that. Get settled into my new place and everything. So I'm ready for it. I'm excited. Can't wait to call. It's been a while since I got to call some sports.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe that it's our run here on MBR. It's coming to a bit of a close, but I'm really excited for you, man. Really happy that you got this opportunity. You know, you're so deserving of it too. I mean, you work so hard. You've got so much knowledge on sports, and you've been just trying for so long, and there so many people have or jobs or employers haven't given you opportunity. So like, shout out to the Cane Cutters for giving you a chance.
Squad right there.
They're getting a good one. Like, can't think of anybody more deserving. So I'm really, really happy for your partner.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's gonna be everyone's time one day. Just takes a little bit of time. Hard work eventually gets you where you want to go.
Absolutely.
Where should we start in this playoff madness, though? Because there's just so much going on leading up. It sucks that this is like the end right now, because we got all the action starting to kick off right now.
I know. Well, we can say let's start in the NHL. We do have a couple of sweeps in some series I think we can go over first. Carolina in the East. I think the favorite really to come out of the East and go to the Cup. The Hurricanes take care of Ottawa in 4. And Ottawa definitely played them close, played them really tight those past 2 games. But yeah, ultimately Carolina just kind of overwhelmed them. They had the double overtime 3-2 victory that we talked about a little bit on last week's show. And then game 3 was back on the 23rd. That was last Thursday. And this one, a real defensive, grinded out type of game. Carolina got up to an early goal lead at the end of 1 and was holding on to that for a while until Drake Batherson tied it back up, and then almost immediately, like very shortly after the Sens tied it back up, the Canes just scored again and then held on for the rest of that game there.
This series has been a beatdown. I mean,
yeah,
Carolina is just a different beast for this conference. They got the offense to really go out there. There's just too many shooters. Feels like you're watching a Western Conference team, just the way they can put up goals. And whoever they see in the second round, they really got to hope that their defense is locked in, Philly or Pittsburgh. And that series has been really shifting recently. It was 2-0 last week.
Looked like it could have been a sweep potentially, but the Penguins finding some life. Yeah, that they had a crazy 3-2 game just the other day, man. It was absolute pandemonium at the end of that one.
It's been some real nail-biting games and to lead up into this show, other than in the Avs and Carolina series. Those two swept up real quick.
Yeah.
Get some good rest for the second round.
Right. So last week on the show, we were talking, and the Flyers are up, up 2-0, and then they come out with a dominant 5-2 performance later that evening after our show to go up 3-0, and you're like, okay, well, looks like the Penguins are going to get swept. You know, when there's going to be a rough week for Pittsburgh against their in-state rival Philadelphia, because the Eagles come on and steal Kyle Lemon from the Steelers, and the Flyers are about to sweep the Penguins. But all hope wasn't lost. Game 4, the Penguins really put it together. They put together a strong performance. Arturas Slavis, a great goalkeeping game from him, man. Had defended against 30 shots and had 28 saves.
It's actually one of the more offensive games in this one. Like, Philly wasn't really able to make it too physical. They let Pittsburgh's offense kind of get going.
Yeah.
They made some crazy shots in this one. That bouncing goal, like the dude literally caught it on his stick and just angled it down, bounced it in between his legs and the goalie's legs. That was for the lead. That was for the lead to 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, they were really playing out of their minds here. Great puck movement when they had it in their offensive zone, and yeah, I mean, a lot of assisted goals here, and really they were just really aggressive attacking Vlauder when they had it, and getting physical, delivering a lot of hits, and then just really forcing the Flyers into some tough. I almost called them the Phillies, the Flyers into some tough defensive matchups there. So
appreciate it, Jimmy.
thank you. Here's the next one, moving out to a new state. But like I mentioned, game 5 was pretty chaotic. Man, Crosby almost was able to seal it on an empty net. Dude caught the puck, like lost his footing. So like as he's like diving down, taps it with the stick, and it just goes off the post on an empty net, man. But this game was insane. Really
it's crazy
back and forth.
That shot even missed. He had like perfect control.
Mm-hmm.
That's just veteran presence on the ice.
Yeah.
Literally dove, full body extended, stomach on the ice, and still was able to get a clean shot. Just barely missed.
I gotta say, it's been Connor Denoir and Chris Letang, man. Those guys have really been stepping up. 2 each with a goal in back-to-back games in this series to help extend it for them. Yeah, I mean, and just like Crafty, they're getting into the soft spots, finding good shooting lanes, and being available for their teammates. And the Penguins doing a good job of finding them. In fact, Crosby, no goals in this game, but he assisted on both of Dewar and Letang's goals.
He's only gotten 1 goal in this series, I think.
Yeah, they've done a good job of kind of keeping him in check, but
he's really been getting it done on both ends, and his passing has just brought Pittsburgh up to the next level now. I mean, pretty close to tying the series up. Only a game back now in the 7-game series.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just going to be tough going into the second round playing Carolina after you play a 7-game series if they do win it.
Right.
Either team's been through a bloodbath.
Yeah. You can tell, man, this in-state rivalry, there's still no love lost here. I got to give a shout out to Noel Akiri on the forward for the Penguins, man. Having 3 block shots as a forward, that was pretty impressive in this one. He was making some great plays on the defensive end for him. So we'll see, man. It's the game, I think tonight it's back to Philly. So for game 6, that is tonight. So Can the Flyers close it out on home ice, or do the Penguins force a game 7 back in Pittsburgh? That's going to be the question. I mean, the way they're playing, I feel like getting behind the home crowd, I am still leaning a little bit more towards the Phillies closing this thing out. I keep calling the Phillies the Flyers closing this thing out on their home ice.
It's definitely going to be a harder game in Philly. It's not that far, but still you're on there. You're in their stadium. It's going to be they're going to have that home ice advantage still.
Yeah.
I want to see this one go to 7 though. I do think the Flyers are probably gonna close it out, but this has been an entertaining series so far. I don't want to see the in-state rivalry end too soon.
Well, I think our most entertaining series in the East so far has been the Canadiens and the Lightning, man. Two just incredibly evenly matched teams. And I mean, every game in this series so far has been decided by one goal. All but game 4 have gone to overtime. You've had 3 consecutive games where it's been 3-2.
Yep.
Canadians won game 1, obviously 4-3. Then you had the Lightning come back, fire back, win 3-2. Then the Canadians won 3-2. And then the Lightnings won 3-2 a few days ago. So game 5 tonight. Will this one go to overtime? Who knows?
Most likely, because
it's looking like it.
It's so defensive and really physical that there's been a lot of penalties. But once that team gets into power play, they're not very efficient in power play. At least in game 4. I don't even know how Tampa Bay won it. Like late in that game, they're 1 for 7 in power play. Pretty sure the Canadians had even scored a goal while Tampa was in power play. They had to really come back. They were down 2 goals, but it felt like a bigger deficit just because of how rough a start they had.
That's kind of been the story is like it's really like the team that's able to rally late. Because multiple games where it's like one team kind of starts out, not so hot, they're not playing so well. But like this series has just been, the games have been determined by the team that's finishing stronger down the stretch, because like no one's really been able to pull away with a good start. Like even if you do have a really good start, like it's still always within reach, and we just keep seeing like late rallies kind of leading to victories here in this one.
Yeah, if you don't fall apart, you might have a rough game to start it out, but all you really you just want to get the win.
Yeah.
So
neither side really given like any indication that like one of them is closer to figuring out the other team and pulling away. Like these are, I'm not, dare I say, these might be the 2 most evenly matched teams in the entire
I know.
in the entire playoffs. Like these, like even in that like Minnesota Wild series, or like the in-state rivalry of the Pennsylvania teams, like these 2 teams just play each other so similarly, and nobody through all the games, nobody's shown like there hasn't been like any indication like, okay, like this one team might be better or figure the other team out, or there hasn't really been a game where one team is just like kind of dominated or felt like they were in control from start to finish. And we've got that in at least in one other game in every other series. This one, it's just been like a bloodbath down to the wire every game. If the trend continues, Montreal's winning this thing in 7. So that's Tampa Bay is going to need to somebody's going to need to figure out how to win 2 games in a row.
Yeah, if it keeps going back and forth, then
well, the Lightning are going to have to figure out how to win 2 games in a row if they want to extend this series.
Man, that's been the one series I've been watching a lot. Another one though, especially in the East. Another kind of brewing rivalry, old school rivalry. Bruins and Sabres. The game 5 was pretty crazy.
Yeah, Bruins stave off elimination.
And back-to-back games.
They stay alive. They're going back to Boston. Yeah, they got the honestly, the past 2 games, like the Sabres outscored them 9-2. Like they were really struggling. It looked like this series was, they lost 2 on their home ice. It was going back to Buffalo, and it looked like, this was over. Buffalo in 5. But game 5 last night, Boston really dug in behind their defense, and just, like after the goal in the first period, which was pretty early into the first period, even on the power play, Boston was, just a wall. I mean, they made some incredible defensive plays. Their goalie, Jeremy Swayman, was phenomenal in this one. You could tell he was a little, he was really upset that he let that first goal get in. And after that, man, the guy felt like he was in flow state. He had it was, I think it was Tage Thompson. Just like he had one of his shot attempts that he saved. I mean, like the entire arena was in disbelief that he stopped that goal. So phenomenal play out of him. I mean, and just the defense of the Bruins in general, they kept a lot of pressure on Buffalo, and I mean, they made some just unreal plays. I mean, that's the beauty of these elimination games, man. You got these teams with their back against the wall.
It was 1-1 for over 20 minutes of this game.
Mm-hmm.
Tied up going into the third period, scoreless for both teams, going to overtime. And that game-winning goal is like perfect setup for David Pastrnak. He was on the bench, got subbed in while the defense had just gotten a possession of the puck. So he comes in center ice, like the blue line, gets the pass, and is already a little bit ahead of the defense. No offsides call, and with the defender draped on his shoulder, leaning to his side, just scoops it in right above the right shoulder there and wins it in overtime.
Also,
it came off the bench though, and was just already in that situation to go get the game-winning goal. I mean, you got to be on your toes.
And there were some Sabre players that like knew that they had messed up. They gave him too good of a shot. Jason Zucker was, I don't know if he panicked or whatever. Like it looked like he was trying to do like a slide kick, like a soccer slide kick, to get a skate out there to block that puck, and it didn't work, and it just zipped that thing in over by the goalie's shoulder. It was a really beautiful setup play, and for a game that had just been an absolute slugfest, to really just see like a quick or a really well set up shot attempt like that, great assist by Lindholm, and then just a beautiful slash shot by Pastrnak to keep the Bruins season alive. Will they be able to force a game 7? I don't know. They haven't won a game at home in this series, so we'll see. They'll have to reverse that trend.
And try to get their teeth kicked in at home. They got one more chance. One more chance.
All right. Well, over here to the West, the Avalanche, no surprise, sweeping the Kings. We're pretty hyped about this.
Cleaned up shop.
And honestly, I don't even think there's too much to say about these next 2 games. Really, what happened is the Avalanche. the offensive avalanche that the
It
Avs
turned
can be.
on.
9 goals in the last 2 games. And this is what we were talking about last week, is LA being unable to steal one in these like defensive 2-1 games, like where they weren't able to be the team to come out on top.
Feels good, right?
Yeah,
that
like
feels good.
I think we were talking about, like, I mean, if I'm at like the Kings, like I gotta feel bad that I wasn't able to steal one of those, because you just gotta imagine like what, like, the Avs offense is gonna get going eventually, and then it did, and yeah, like, I mean, they started it. In game 3, they kind of had the defense of the Kings flustered. I mean, there was at least one goal that like bounced off of an LA player's skate and into their own goal, and then 5. It just the floodgates, man. They just opened up. McKinnon got it going off the power play in the first. Cale Makar just took it down the ice and got an unassisted goal in the second. Edmondson was able to bring it, get a goal. So it was 2-1. Then the third period just was a barrage, and Roy gets in there, Towers gets in there, and then McKinnon gets his second goal of the game on the empty net, man. So well, the Avalanche 4-0 sweep. They're going to get a lot of rest, while the Stars Wild series is going to at least 6.
Yeah,
but it could go to 7, man.
It could be over tomorrow. I'm not sure if the Wild got home ice for that game 6, but they are looking really good. At least in game 5, that front line, when they got attacking, they got downhill, they were really good, because they got some big bodies and they can just set the tempo when they're attacking on you, and they can just really be physical on those Stars defenders. There's some big guys too, and they got some veteran presence over there, but the Wild get going, man. It's hard to stop that pressure that they bring.
Yeah. 4 different players accounting for their 4 goals in this game. And man, like, I just, I feel for Ottinger, because like he's been playing pretty good in this series. But dude, like the Stars defense does not do him a ton of favors. There aren't like a lot of blocked shots, and I mean, he's really having to make a lot of saves on his own, and that pressure that the Wild have been able to put on the goal has really extended or helped them jump up and take the lead in this series. So it's back in Minnesota tonight, the chance to close it out. I'll say, though, the home ice hasn't been a huge advantage in this one. I mean, the Stars have lost 2 on their home ice. The Wild have lost 1 on their home ice, so maybe they'll lose another here. Well, we're gonna see. I really think like Dallas is capable of getting a win here. They just need to be more aggressive and more opportunistic when they've got the puck in Minnesota's zone, and just try to wear them out on the defensive end, because I think like they're just like Minnesota. Yeah, like Minnesota just looks too fresh, and like they're just battering them on defense,
taking more shots too. I feel like would help them out.
Yeah,
more early and often. Like Minnesota's going to come out there swinging. You got to do the same. Got to stay in the fight.
Honestly, like a lot of their shots, like they finally were getting more shot attempts when they went empty net, but like Minnesota was far ahead of them in terms of total shot attempts in this game. And then
Dallas even got a goal on the empty net. They made it 3-2
to really seal
Seemed
it.
like it was a little close, and then there goes Minnesota.
It was Kasper Azov. Dude, first of all, great assist from Boldy. And then, I mean, that was, I forget who was chasing them down the ice. I think it was I think it was Robertson. No, who's number 40? It's like 44, 46.
I think that's Robertson then, or Anderson.
Yeah, might have been Labushkin, but I mean, he was like right on his hip. Had somebody else come diving in to try to like get a block on it, but Kasparov, I mean, from still pretty far out, sniped that empty net. So that was a great play to just seal it up. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of feel like the Stars are done. They're gonna probably lose. I just haven't liked what I've seen.
They haven't been the most consistent in this series.
Yeah.
So it seems like sometimes you just come out there and play at your pace, they're not really able to match you.
Yeah.
And like if you just control the game, control the puck, and limit their amount of shots, at least like don't put too much pressure on your goalie, you should be fine, because like you don't want Rantanen to get going. You don't want Duchesne to get going because he can be like a sniper too. He can get some pretty long shots. Just one of their goals in this game, it got tipped in off somebody else just by accident. He just had a random slap shot bounce off someone else's stick into the goal. So he got himself an assist on accident right there. It's been a great series. I want Minnesota to win it. They're up and coming team. That's the team I really like in the West. Sucks they got to play the Avs though in the second round.
I think they're good. They've been the better team this series too. A couple of the commanding win in game 1, and then just in most of these games they've looked like the better, more clutch team in the late game situations. Well, we're gonna kick it over to the kind of the desert really for both of these squads. And what's got to be I feel like a little bit of a rivalry starting to brew here, man. The Mammoth,
I like it,
and the Vegas Golden Knights.
Newer teams, rivalry brewing there.
Yeah,
Golden Knights haven't been around for more than 10 years. Mammoth, second season. You had some new storylines brewing out there. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So this series tied up 2-2 apiece, going back to Vegas tonight for Game 5, and yeah, it was a fantastic Game 4, man. If you blinked and you might have missed it because man, it looked like first of all, it looked like Vegas was going to pull away. They go up 3-0.
Really
early through the second, and Utah just was for a while looked just dead in the water offensively, and then they go on a furious run, scoring 4 goals in a row, and so then it looks like Vegas is going to do the choke job, but Brett Howden gets the goal about halfway through the third period to tie it back up. This game goes into overtime. Shea Theodore on the assist from Jack Eichel with the go-ahead win in OT. So, I mean,
they were just able to lock it down enough.
Vegas had to earn it, though.
And this is a 1-4 matchup, too. They could have gone down 3-1. This was a must-win game.
Yeah. So I think these teams are really, throughout this series have brought out the best in each other. We've seen some really good play here. It's been a bit of an interesting series for Carter Hart. He's definitely had some struggles in some of these games. The Game 3 wasn't great for him. And obviously he had a bad stretch where he gave up 4 goals, but he was really good late. He locked back in late. Did some phenomenal goalkeeping to help the Golden Knights tie this series back up. This is one I could easily see going to 7. It's been really even. evenly matched as well. Both of these teams, like I said, just seem like they're bringing out the best in each other.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. Excited to see where Utah can go with this run if they win this series, because the way they've been playing against number 1 seed in this little side of the West bracket easily could take out Anaheim or Edmonton. And that one took a serious shift from last week. That series, it looked like it was all a commanding one. We had 3 games go by before we had gotten to last week's episode. So 2-1 lead for Edmonton. We thought they locked things down.
Or for Anaheim.
Yeah.
I
We thought they'd lock things down. And
the Oilers' defense was looking atrocious. They gave up 13 goals in the span of 2 games. Then if you only like 17 over the span of 3, it really looked like they were about to just get blown out. But last night, they got up to a big lead early and then held on. 3 first period goals with and McDavid getting involved. Draisaitl was fantastic in this one. He made some phenomenal plays. And was, I really think, the best player out there for the Oilers to keep and helps keep their season alive. 2 goals from him, including, really like one that kind of killed any momentum Anaheim might have been able to build. They finally got a goal down 3-0, and then like Draisaitl scores a minute and a half later.
Classic Leon Draisaitl game.
Mm-hmm.
This looked like last year and the year before from him, because he was absolutely killing it in this game.
His fingerprints were all over it. And Connor Ingram, the goalie that they were going with now for Edmonton, really great game, because it wasn't like Anaheim wasn't getting shots. They had plenty of opportunities, 30 shots on goal, but only 1 goal in this one. So, yeah, a lot better. If you look back at the 6-4 loss that they had, Ingram really struggled in that one. And then they had a 7-4 loss in Anaheim. I'm trying to remember. I think he might have even gotten benched in this one. No, he didn't. But there was. Just Anaheim just was getting almost unlimited opportunities. So Oilers were definitely facing elimination. Can they keep this up? I'm not exactly sure. They definitely played like a team that didn't want to get eliminated on their home ice, but the series does go back to California.
Yeah,
we'll see. But I think maybe the Ducks get it done here in 6.
Home ice seems like a winnable game. Just don't let those shooters get going. Keep it off. Keep it away.
Yeah.
Keep it away from McDavid. Keep it away from Draisaitl.
I will say that there's a squad that could get hot and reverse their fortunes and down 3-1 in the series.
It's Edmonton.
Edmonton would be one of the teams I'd pick. Like
they did that with their entire season this year and locked it in so they can get into the playoffs.
Yeah. So they could really reverse their fortune here. Oh, you know what? We can talk about this real quick too. The thoughts on the Sorsby situation at Texas Tech. So for those of you that don't know, QB Brendan Sorsby checked into a rehab center for gambling addiction.
Right? Sports.
Mm-hmm. And my thoughts are just like this will honestly just be the beginning with how much sports gambling is being pushed out there. It's all over the place.
These players are,
and I got like a lot of these players, especially college players. These are just they're young men. Like some of them are still kids, basically.
Young guys, and you just gave them $2 million.
They're just
to play.
They're so vulnerable to this type of stuff, and like gambling, it's very addictive, and I think that it was, there's probably a way where we could have, sports gambling and sports could have partnered in a healthier way, but I think that a lot of it was just it's been pushed for just pure profit reasons with, no thoughts or concerns about how it might affect the integrity of the game, or how vulnerable players and people might be affected by it. And that's just one of the examples right there. I mean, we might just have to get used to hearing stories about this until some guardrails or safety caps can be put into place, and it can be more reasonably done.
Because like right now, think about it right now. You're getting notifications and seeing everything every day for all these playoff games, all these MLB games on the slate. Getting pretty close to already. People were betting on the NBA awards, betting on the draft, and right now is just so many different things to bet on. I'm sure, like, if you actually do, you have a serious problem with that, and like, it's a pretty hard time to even avoid it.
And I see with Brendan, like, I don't even think he was necessarily doing too much to like influence the outcome of games, because he wasn't while he was at Indiana. I mean, maybe he was. I don't know, but even then, like, even when you're just betting on anything involving your team immediately, or even just somewhat parallel to it, the integrity of what you're doing immediately comes into question. And there are plenty of other examples. I mean, we have Jonte Porter and a number of the guys in the NBA
banned from the league
that got banned
for life.
The NFL's suspended plenty of players for just betting on other NFL games while they were on the team, even if the game wasn't.
Or for past. What's his name on the Patriots? Kayshon Boutte got suspended for betting when he was back at LSU. It had been like multiple years in the past. He'd got a suspension for that.
I think betting and gambling in general has just gotten out of control. You look at also these prediction market apps are just making it even worse. Like a guy like Giannis partners with Kalshi, and like Kalshi's
now it's all over the place.
Well, and Kalshi's an app where you can
bet on the weather and the rain, man. Like what?
Or where Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to get traded to, and now he's got a stake in that company, and he can directly affect trades on himself. Or we saw it with, I mean, it's gotten into the military. That one soldier that was part of the Maduro raid to capture him, who traded on it and was ultimately, indicted. And he's obviously going to go to trial for that, but that got flagged, which, I don't see how what he did is any different than a person in Congress buying stocks in the company, then immediately passing legislation that would positively affect that company and allow it to, grow its capital gains. But that's just where we're at here. I'm all for people being able to have a little fun and place a bet, play some poker with your buddies or whatever. But, just like with anything, whether it be like with any vice, like, drugs and alcohol, nicotine, whatever it is, like gambling is a vice, and it can be fun and all right in moderation, but there's too many people that do it in excess, and I don't think there's enough resources or conversations about how to be responsible. And I also just think that we give way too much leeway to these gambling companies. I mean, they're everywhere. It's just like they're just plastering you with gambling ads every break. The logos are all over arenas. So the Sorsby thing is, and some of the recent gambling scandals that we've had, I'm afraid it might be just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh yeah, because the leagues don't want you to do it, but a majority of their money that they're going to be making every year is off people betting and their ads that they run from these companies. And your team is getting paid by that company for just having their logo on the hardwood floor while you play, or just like run on the stadium jumbotron and just like ticker across. It's all in the marketing. It's all the business side of these sports. That's really stupid.
Yeah,
the betting's out of hand.
And to be honest, I don't want to sound like a buzzkill, but I would. If I was in charge, I would be nipping it in the bud and
I know, like what the heck?
Probably just regulating it into oblivion, because it's turning into a way for, corporations, the 1%, to just find every possible way to squeeze $1 out of vulnerable people, that, or now they're getting involved in day trading, and that, like, oh, they say like, they throw the like gambling hotline number in there to cover their own ass, but they don't care.
That's just the cover.
Yeah.
That's just the cover so that they aren't, they can't be fully 100% held liable. And then see those other videos, it's like those, think you got an online lawsuit for, sports betting and FanDuel. It's like, yeah, dude, no way.
Yeah.
Those are total scams too.
I mean, like every betting app's got their VIPs, the people that spend a lot of money that they will give special treatment to get them to keep gambling, because they lose. That's what they lose. They lose a lot of money all the time gambling. So
if you have money to spend, they like you.
It's kind of and unfortunately, there are going to be athletes that are vulnerable. But I'm really interested to hear what other people's thoughts on this whole situation are. We're going to go ahead and take a quick music break. When we come back, we're going to dive into the NBA playoffs, and then we're also going to give some draft grades on the NFL draft coming up later too. So make sure you stick around. You're listening to Till the Final Whistle here on Military Broadcast Radio. Appreciate the question, Heidi.
Could have slipped around the corner at my favorite coffee shop. Could have passed your Subaru in the Belcourt parking lot. Could have sat just feet away from me on a flight back to Tennessee. Few rows apart. When I tell you I feel lucky, believe that it's the truth. Somehow in this giant world you found me and I found you. Could have been a blind date, had to cancel, I was running late. Could have never been that friend of a friend. Could have almost met a million times, lived totally separate lives, and miss all we've ever been. When I tell you I feel lucky, believe that it's the truth. Somehow in this giant world you found me and I found you. Could have never left the desert, had your California dream. Could have stayed back in the Midwest, I miss Missouri. Moved halfway across the country, now we're standing here today. I won't take for granted that our lives turn out this way. When I tell you I feel lucky, believe that it's the truth. Somehow in this giant world you found me and I found you. You found me and I found you.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
All right, now. You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle. Back again. Okay, what series do you want to start off with?
Look, man, I just want to rip the Band-Aid off because I hate this team, but we're going to talk about the Thunder.
I didn't watch a single game of this season.
I
already knew what it was going to be.
Dude, I tuned in for bits and pieces. I watched some of the highlights and, read the discourse on social media. But, dude, it's just abysmal hoops to watch. I gotta be honest. They're just so unethical. It's uncomfortable to watch, man. They sweep the Suns, which I guess isn't too surprising.
One of my friends that I game with a lot, huge Suns fan from Arizona. I mean, I'm sitting in the Xbox party with them. We usually just have a game on in the background while we play, react to the games together. He was in pain. He was in pain for the whole 4 games.
And what's annoying too is like Shea just and this team, I can't even when he does something really impressive, I want to really give him some praise for shooting 15 of 18 and scoring 42 points in game 3. That was genuinely impressive, but all their other antics just overshadow that.
Right.
And it's not even always the foul baiting. It's not always about just getting free throws. There were a number of just momentum killing fouls that resulted in turnovers in this series. It was really egregious in game 2, and honestly, there was still some of it in games 3 or 4, but it wasn't as bad. Dylan Brooks' 33-point game was a nice, fun surprise.
Well, another thing in this series that really annoyed me was because people were talking about the whistle, and I understand that certain people, that's that whistle for the stars. I don't really understand that. It should be pretty even across the game as far as the calls go for everybody. But for Devin Booker, I'm glad you pulled up his player profile there.
That was something I wanted to talk about.
His aggression in this series, the way he should have been taking more shots. He should have been attacking the basket more. I feel like he was settling for just passing the ball and picking the ball up and giving it to someone else and letting them work. It's Dylan Brooks shouldn't have 33, man. You should have 33 every game. If you're really that guy on this team, if you want the whistle, then you should be going getting 33 like Dylan Brooks was.
Yeah. I'll say this whole series, Booker felt like the second or third option, every game. It did not feel it just didn't feel like he wanted to score more. So would the Suns have won this series if the refs weren't calling a bunch of crazy stuff for the Thunder some of the time? It's not
maybe
all the
they
time.
would have won in 5.
I'm maybe they would have won the game, but ultimately they just weren't. Yeah, they weren't gonna do it. I think the defense of the Suns really. Booker just got kind of timid and wasn't really looking to score. were being aggressive.
Nice ball screen. He'd come off it on the wing. Normally, that's a Devin Booker 3. Make it or not. That's a shot that he's going to take. Or he's going to drive. Right? He's going to try and get that, use his speed, and get the baseline on the big. But he just picked up his dribble and then would pass it up to Dylan Brooks. In that game where he had 33 points, he was like, all right, let's go. Dylan Brooks go at it. On a team that's not that deep, being the number one option, you gotta be aggressive. You gotta attack. You gotta be hungry to score in those moments. If on a team like the Suns playing against the Thunder, your backs are against the wall.
Yeah,
tough series for them.
Well,
the Suns have a good offseason. They could probably be back and make it a better series against.
I feel like as a Suns fan, where you got to take. Oh, that's sad. I just saw that notification. Justin Simmons is retiring.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well,
long-time Bronco.
Yeah.
Dang. More losses to the Falcons defense. Love to see it.
Yeah. The Falcons defense claims another victim. But I totally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, if you're a Suns fan, you've got to feel, like your team really exceeded expectations. I don't think people thought you were going to be good at all. So you definitely were ahead of schedule in that regard.
Yeah, this was still a really good year for them. Saw some guys break out in the regular season that kind of just needed some like playoff starting experience. Like I want to see what happens with Gillespie. You know, what are they going to do with him?
The Rockets Lakers series that we're jumping over to now. I gotta say, man, Game 3, incredible what LeBron James did, man, leading that team.
Made him shave his beard.
Yeah, to victory to go up 3-0. And I mean, the comeback, like, it's really difficult when you're down 6 with less than 30 seconds left to come back and win a game. And that's exactly what they did. That's actually only the second time in NBA history that's happened in that scenario where a team's down 6 or more in the final 30 seconds and won the game. Was able to force overtime. I might be ruffling some feathers here, but I mean, come on, this series has been some GOAT stuff from LeBron. I mean,
you can't even tell me that.
At the age of
going crazy.
At the age of 41, almost 42, man, the number one option on the team. I mean, this is a good defensive team in the Rockets. And I mean, his playmaking, his scoring, his rebounding, I mean, he's just been doing it all. But
that
I will give
steal in the 3, dude. Oh my God.
Oh, the clutch shooting from him.
Shot.
Yeah. He's been phenomenal. And if they get Luka and Reeves back and healthy, they might be able to give the Thunder some problem, although I think the Thunder's still probably taken down.
They'll have some fits.
Yeah. It's just been a really great series out of him. Some role players on this team have really stepped up great. Roy Hachimura was good in this one, 22 points. Marcus Smart he's been phenomenal. He's probably, honestly, besides Kennard, been the second best player. But he was 21, posted the stat line of 21 and 10 with also 5 steals, 3 block shots, reminding everybody why he was a DPOY a long time ago. Now,
it's just kind of some.
Before
I wish the Rockets had a real freaking point guard.
Yeah,
that's kind of what's killing them.
One of my managers is a Lakers fan, and he's been like, oh, I mean, you got to give JJ. He's such a good coach. Like, he's doing such a good job of shutting down the Rockets' game plan. And I'm like, first of all, let's settle down. The Rockets' game plan is that the other team doesn't score 85 or more points. That's their game plan. That's what they're hoping. It's not, all you have to do is score 85 or more, and their game plan falls apart. Their game plan is to hope that you shoot abysmally from 3, which the Lakers haven't been doing until they did in Game 4. They had a rough Game 4, and Houston was able to stay alive and keep their season alive. I think the series closes out in LA. I mean,
yeah, it's over. It's got to be over.
Like, it's just been trying to get this mobile hotspot to work a little faster. It was, you were probably bound to have like not your greatest performance, especially when you're down your top 2 players, and for your role players to maybe have a bad game on the road. That's what happened. A lot of turnovers in this one. They just didn't shoot very well from 3. Like, I mean, some of your top 3-point shooters were just off. I mean, LeBron, Smart, Luke all went 0 for 3, and they were 5 of 22. Yeah, it was just really rough in general. 23 turnovers.
Got to see some of the athleticism from their guys. I mean, like, Amen Thompson's one of the most athletic dudes in the league. Like, if they actually get Van Vliet healthy next year, and maybe go after like an actual point guard they can learn from, then maybe they could go after some positionless basketball, and he could be like the one.
If they let Amen Thompson play as a wing player, I think he could be really great. But he wasn't the answer at point guard. I think if the Rockets really wanted to be serious about going on a deep run this postseason, they would have tried to trade for a point guard. So
he's kind of timid with the ball. Sometimes when I feel like he should be taking it up, he just kind of passes it off to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. So they're gonna have some things to work out in the offseason. Houston is. I mean, they also just lack a ton of shooting outside of Kevin Durant. Everyone else is really spotty. So, need a point guard. They need some more shooting. Dorian Finney-Smith was kind of a letdown. He was supposed to be that, good 3-and-D type of player for him. He just hasn't really been on the court or available, just dealing with injuries. So, do I think? I mean, even if Kevin Durant's healthy, I don't think the Rockets are able to force a Game 6. I really think the Lakers close this out,
especially on your home stadium.
Yeah.
With we got no beard LeBron. There's gonna be people at the game just to see that. I mean,
it's a rare event, honestly.
He looks like the Hulk.
All right. Now, on to what's been kind of a painful series for us Nuggets fans, is this Wolves Nuggets series.
Game 3 is bull crap.
Yeah, I mean, we just got carved up by Ayo Dosunmu. Are you kidding me?
Game 2 and Game 3 are bull crap because Jaden McDaniels said that everyone on our team is a bad defender, and then we go out and they still beat us. And then there's no chip on our shoulder after he says any of that, right? And then we go into the next game, into this one, still no chip on our shoulder.
They lose
shooting like crap.
Edwards.
They lose their best 3-point shooter and literally their number 1 scoring option. It's okay because the Nuggets have not played like they cared since Game 1.
Yeah, we're gonna only make
series
6 threes in this game.
Yep. And when there's 12 seconds left in the game, that's the only time you'll see any freaking heart out of the team.
Yeah.
Is when Jaden McDaniels makes a layup when people are dapping each other up on the other end of the floor and the game's already over. And it's honestly kind of sad. Because I don't know what's going to happen for this series now. DiVincenzo, that was an Achilles injury.
Yeah.
He's out.
I mean, Ant's going to probably miss at least one more game here. Nas Reed's definitely not going to be at 100%. I mean, he came back in game 5, but he was looking a little shaken up. So I got to say, like, the Nuggets definitely got a little bit of a bailout. That's the injury bug hitting the Wolves. But they have to play like they played in game 5. This was Denver at its peak. I mean, this was just everyone was scoring. The ball was the assists were flowing. They had 35 assists in this one. Jokic with a triple-double. He dealed out 16 dimes in this one, 27, 12, and 16 from him. And we were hitting our threes, 11 to 29, shot a lot better. Jamal Murray was scoring, but then, like, the role player guys were really stepping up. I mean, Spencer Jones scoring 20. Cam Johnson had 18. That's just what we need. Like, we can't too often. It's a lot of playoff games where it's just like Jokic and Murray scoring most of our points, and then everyone else is combining for like 20 total points. Like, we need like 2 or 3 guys to score 15 to 20.
Yeah.
In that range. And then if we do that, I mean, we score like 125 or more. It's crazy.
Well, that's what kind of sucks, is because, I kind of see what you're saying, Jaden McDaniels. You guys are missing your 2 best offensive players in this game, in game 5 too. And the Nuggets only won by 12. And they still they generated 25 turnovers and still only won by 12. And without their best players, the Timberwolves shot 51% from the field and still 43%. I mean, you got Ant and DiVincenzo on the floor. It's probably the series ends in 5. I kind of see what he's saying about, like, defensively. They still shot pretty well, and they put up a good, like, they only lost by 12, and they turned the ball over 25 times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, the Nuggets are still.
We did build a big lead on them, and then they almost looked like they were coming back. And Jokic and Murray, some clutch shots and a good feed to Cam to kind of stop the run that they had. But yeah, the defense has got to tighten up just a little bit, because
they got to lock it down.
We can't rely on them having 25 turnovers every game. But they do that. I mean, that might happen a bit more if we can just keep some pressure on them. So hopefully Aaron Gordon's healthy. I think that'll help with the defense too. So, I mean, I wish we could get Peyton Watson back. That would be
really nice.
That would be so unbelievably
some
clutch.
more length on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Christian Brown's doing pretty good defensively. I'll give that to him.
Yep.
He's always a lock.
I just miss the scoring that Watson could bring. He was so good when Jokic was hurt. Well, our final game, our series to cover here in the West, the Spurs
Trail's closed.
They pack up the Trailblazers.
Yeah, Trail's closed.
An absolute dominant performance. You got Harper off the bench with 17. Every starter scoring 10 or more points. I mean, Wemby only had 17, but he had 14 rebounds and 6 blocked shots. I mean, it was, do not go in there, bro.
Jesus.
He's just unreal. You had, it was, what's his name? Champagny really got off to a strong start. He hit 5 threes in this one. And then De'Aaron Fox, that's the beauty of having a guy like Fox on these playoff games, because it's a relatively young and inexperienced team outside of, like, a couple of guys like Fox, Barnes, and Cornette, really. And, like, Fox especially, dude, in the fourth quarter, he's been past 2 games so good and just coming up with some clutch scores. The Blazers were down by like 28 at one point. They had it within 10, within 8 in the fourth quarter, and De'Aaron Fox just took over. That Fox and Wemby pick and roll was just
It's unstoppable.
So good. Yeah.
He's bigger than you think too. Yeah, he's a really long guy.
I mean, like in his length, he's such a lob threat that like you can't sag off of him. Like, and De'Aaron Fox, he's still got like unreal speed. He's still one of the fastest players in the NBA, dude. So like it's tough because it's like Wemby can catch lobs from pretty much any like he's got like probably the best lob catchability of any player in the NBA. So like he can catch it in all sorts of like random areas. So that makes him so hard to defend. But then De'Aaron Fox is if you give him a lane, like he's so fast, he'll probably beat you to the basket. So that was a good move that they went to. And yeah, like Wemby was a team like Portland just stood no chance against Wemby, man. He is the best rim protector in the NBA. He might be the best we've seen all time. And this is a team that really thrived on driving to the basket. You just can't do that when number one's sitting in the paint, man.
Yeah, that big part of the offense for Portland is that they got a lot of big dudes that can just drive their way into the lane. And like we even saw that clip last night. It's going viral. Kamara is actually backing down Stephon Castle in the paint because he's just bigger than him. And Wemby's standing there holding Stephon Castle up with his arm in the middle of his back while Toumani Kamara tries to back him down. And it stops him. Like he stopped him with just holding his arm out. And then Kamara spins off, tries to put up layup, gets blocked. It gets rebounded, and then he gets another block. So the 2-block sequence while he also held up his teammate.
Kamara thought he was going to get an easy dunk at one point. Let me just
gone.
The steps, like he's got such long legs too, so he just out of nowhere swats that thing out of the back of his hand and said, "No." This was just such a dominant performance.
Feels like 2K.
For only scoring 17 points, man, like his gravity and on offense and then just his impact on the defensive end, unmatched. I mean, get ready, folks. I mean, we are witnessing the birth of an all-time player. His ceiling, it really is the greatest. It could really be the greatest we've ever seen. It's just unreal the things he can do, and we're getting to see it on the big stage here. Will definitely be a real test. Whoever, I don't know if Minnesota will be healthy, but whoever comes out of that Denver-Minnesota series, of the 20 games that the Spurs lost this year, 5 of those were to the T-Wolves and the Nuggets. So that was a fourth of their or a fifth of their losses were just to those two teams.
There we go.
No, fourth. How I messed that easy ass multiplication.
They only got to win 4 games to beat the Spurs, but they got their hands full in this second round.
All right. Well, where do we go over in the East? The Magic. Let's start there because
I think we got to start there because there's some other guys that got some real gravity down inside. Game 3, we got, where is he? Wendell Carter Jr. 14 points, 17 boards in this game, and was absolutely giving Jalen Duren fits under the basket because they're not calling that. It's playoff basketball. They're not calling that stuff down low. These individual matchups really matter. And when Jalen Duren, Wendell Carter, get pushing and shoving down low, trying to get set on the block, somebody's trying to face up, it's really getting in the head of Jalen Duren in this series. That's what I've noticed. And his shooting numbers,
not been good.
He's averaged like 8 and 9 this whole series. Game 1, I was like, okay, he might turn it up, but in these big games that they lose, he really gets eliminated, just shut down.
The most points he's scored in the game this series is 12. He hasn't had double-digit rebounds in a single game. And he had a nice game where he had 5 blocks in game 4, or game 3 rather, where he kind of made an impact. But I mean, defensively too, he really hasn't done anything. Him and Cade Cunningham pick and roll feels like it's been pretty much neutralized. And here's the Pistons are a really phenomenal defensive team. But here's the big problem, though, is that they lack a lot of shooting just in general. They're a really inconsistent shooting team. And we saw, especially in game 4 last night, you just blitz Cade Cunningham every possession, force the ball out of his hand. You don't let him play make, you don't let him shoot, or you force him to take tougher shots. I mean, he shot 7 of 23. It was 3 of 11 from deep. But he only had 6 assists. And it was just like, force somebody else to try to beat you. And they couldn't really do that. Like Orlando kind of has that same problem, but they do got a little bit more shooting, even though they lost Franz Wagner, who was on pace to have a big game. He had 19 points in 24 minutes, but other guys really stepped up. Jalen Suggs, while he was actually pretty bad in game 4, has been really good this series. Desmond Bane's been fantastic, and Paolo's been a much more I was going to say consistent shooter, but I also just saw that he went 4 of 18 in this game.
Game 4, not really.
Game 4 was
games
ugly in terms of shooting, but
this was a real grinded out game from both teams.
Yeah.
And 20% from 3 for the Pistons, and 26 for the Magic. Both of them under 40% from the field. Real mediocre from the free throw line, 70s in the 70s. The Magic got to the line a lot though. They kind of just being the more physical team in this series. That's been their thing. They've just been getting to the line. They're on offense, so you get inside.
There have been other guys that that's the thing, is Paolo's still been able to score. Bane's been really taking advantage of his matchups. Other guys have been able to score despite it being a tougher defensive series. They're just finding more out of the role players. And it's Duran's struggling. Cade's just really seeing a ton of attention. Tobias Harris has just never been that good in the playoffs. It's just who's else is really stepping up for him? So
it hurts him on defense too, because he can't really go in the action. Can't really get in the action too much.
I hate to say it, but I think Orlando wins this. I'll say in 6. I think the Pistons get one more, but I think Orlando's going to win this. Move on to take on, I don't know. I thought it was going to be Cleveland, but after a 22-point win in game 3 and then another grinded out defensive win in game 4, the Toronto Raptors have tied this series back up as it heads back to Cleveland.
They're right back in it.
Dude, they
got Scotty going and RJ. Both of them were killing it.
Right.
Both had 33.
They were doing a phenomenal job of shutting down that pick and roll, dude. And I mean, they were forcing Harden and Donovan Mitchell into way more ISO type of scoring situations. A lot less ball movement out of the Cleveland Cavaliers here. And it's been tougher like that. When the offense isn't free flowing and you've just got to be the guy one-on-one, they're having a tough time because Toronto's got some really phenomenal defenders.
Toronto beats Cleveland in the assist battle in game 3, which you love to see as well. I mean, everyone in your starting lineup, your top 3 guys getting 5+ assists. Pirtle down low with 6. Your assist leader that's rebounds. You're Scotty Barnes with 11 assists in this one. Usually a guy, his facilitating in this series has gone up to the next level, where we're seeing his leap. Really, this is he's becoming a real elite player in this league after this series. We're seeing some great performances from him.
and Colin Murray Boyles, the rookie, giving them just tremendous bench minutes. He had 22 and 8 in this game. I think he had like 15 and 10 in the next. Like, he has been such a difference maker. And honestly, they've been like kind of like in late game situations, he's kind of been playing like the 5, which is crazy. And just being out there defending like Mobley. And he's doing a phenomenal job of it.
He could really be a starter because your lineup right now is pretty small. I mean, if you really let Scotty go crazy at the 3, or even Colin Murray Boyles at the 3, we'll see what happens after this offseason. Because Brandon Ingram only taking 9 shots in the playoff game is a little interesting to see for me there. I mean, the other guys were going crazy, but
the problem is that he took 23 shots in the next game and only made 6 of them.
Oh,
Brandon Ingram, I think if Toronto, I mean, no disrespect, but like, I think he's going to be gone if you really want to move up to the next level. He's just going to be a wildly inconsistent and streaky shooter. This whole game in general, both teams were not very good. The offensive rebounding of the Raptors made a huge difference in this game because they took 10 more shots than the Cavaliers did, but both teams shot like around 37% from the field. The Raptors shot 32%, the Cavs shot 37%. And then you're like, well, the Cavs are only 25% from 3, 10 to 40. That's not too good until you see that Toronto was 14 or 4 of 30 from the field. But they, again, like the offensive rebounding was huge for them in this one.
21 to 16.
Yeah.
I mean, that gets you 10 more shots. It's huge.
They had less turnovers, and I think we're just overall a lot better defensively. 11 steals, 8 blocked shots. So even though their shots weren't falling, I mean, they really made it life hell on the Cavs players as well. So this is intriguing. It looked like Toronto was going to get just dismantled by the more experienced Cleveland team with all that youth and the experience. But the Raptors, few games under their belt, have really settled in and are looking like they can make a series out of this. Speaking of teams that have really settled in, I think we're just going to jump to Game 5 for and discuss a little bit of that for the Knicks-Hawks series because, the Knicks have really found their rhythm here.
Especially Cat.
Yeah, they dismantled them
in
4 and 5. Well, here's the thing.
Finally get inside.
Cat's finally taking advantage of the lack of size on Atlanta, dude. Like, I know you're a good 3-point shooter, but you're also a big ass. Like, get in there and just impose your will, dude. Like,
thank you. He's a giant guy. And if it's
stop hanging out on the
Jalen Johnson's guarding you. Oh my God.
Just go back him down.
Oh, here it is. Kuminga just got subbed in the game and he's guarding you. Like, we should probably be backing him down. Get a free layup.
So, the offense of the Knicks, it was just in rhythm, in flow. They shot just phenomenally from the field, 57%, 42% from 3. Got some 12 big points out of Alvarado off the bench. Cat 16 and 14, 5 of 7, dude. And then Brunson just took control. I mean, he was getting sick of he did to CJ McCollum what CJ McCollum had been doing to him somewhat this series and just was hunting him and feasting on CJ. 39 points, 8 assists in this one. Yeah. It looked like the Hawks might have been able to steal this one, but these past 2 games would have shown me that like the Knicks have settled in and like they they know where their mismatches are. They know how to just take advantage of the Hawks' weaknesses, and they're doing a much better job of preventing Atlanta from being able to take advantage of their defensive weaknesses with the help defense and the way the ball's moving on every offensive possession. It's like the Hawks have to play almost perfectly to not to stay to keep pace with them, because New York is they found their rhythm. This looks like the team that went to the conference finals last year. So I think they honestly probably clean. I would say they probably clean things up in Atlanta on tomorrow night. That would be my guess.
Yeah, seems like it's over. It was a good run, but yeah, they just have nobody inside, and it's kind of the same thing for the Celtics. I mean, they have size and they have good defenders, but they're not really setting the tempo, because I can't even lie, like the guys that Philly has on their team, like they're actually trying to play physical.
Yeah.
Like Paul George wants to put a body on you. Edgecombe will put a body on you when he's attacking. Like Maxi's really only the small guy on that team. Like Derek White, Jaylen Brown, when they're out in the perimeter defending, they got to be way more aggressive, and they have to deny the ball from these dudes and not let them go crazy.
Yeah. So game 3, we saw some vintage Tatum in the clutch, and I mean they hit like a dagger 3 to put the lead up to 8, and then
looks
the
healthy.
Celtics held that. Yeah, like it was. I mean, 25 from him, 25 from Jaylen Brown in this one. They were really good, and then obviously Sixers were keeping pace because their starters played really well. They got some good minutes out of Drummond, but they just weren't able to really go deep into their bench. Not like the Celtics, where they got a lot of contributions from bench guys. Game 4 was characterized by just an unreal 3-point shooting percentage from the Celtics. Dude, they hit 24 threes in this game. They were 24 of 53. I mean, it was just an absolute barrage. You got Peyton Pritchard scoring 32. Jason Tatum had 30. Pritchard hit 6 threes. He hit 5. You had 3 for Jaylen Brown, 2 for Hauser, 2 for Derek White, Shireman, Jordan Walsh, Garza. Everyone was getting involved. So it looked like, okay, Boston's pulling away. They got their 3-point shooting, but Joel Embiid was the difference maker. And like you were saying, all of a sudden it's like they're taking advantage of his strength, and really he was really taking over, especially in the second half of game 5.
Oh yeah. 33 bomb. It was like,
and a lot of that came in the second. A lot of it, dude. He was like, Keita is a bit short. He's probably the bigger body, so he's got a little more weight, but he's a little short on the shorter side of centers. Vucevic has more length, but he's a bit skinny. So that was what I was saying before the series. I was like, if Embiid's healthy, he can really stress the Celtics out defensively, because they just don't have somebody well equipped to defend him.
It's gonna be tough.
That's, you were seeing that, dude. Like Tatum kept or somebody just kept creeping over the help double Embiid, and then he would, he's a good enough passer, man. He's getting it over to that weak side, and it's just catch and shoot at that point. And this one, the Philly hits 15 of their threes. Paul George showing us some vintage shooting from him. He hit some really clutch shots. Tyrese Maxey scored 25. It just opened up a lot. Like Quentin Grimes was much better in this one, dude. He was the one that was really taking advantage. Him and Edgecombe, or him and George rather, were really taking advantage of all the open threes that Embiid was giving them in the second half. Man, he scored 18. So I think if Embiid, he looks healthy, he looks good, I think they could really send this to 7, dude. like I said, we'll see how Boston adjusts to this, but like they're gonna have to figure something out because you can't really put like a smaller guy on him because like that
No.
he just catches it and like he backs him down and he's just so good with that little jet, like the back down into the jab step fadeaway. Like
he has a
just
lot of options in the post that
yeah.
it's really kind of need Keita to step up in those moments and really he's really got to hold his ground, or they got to double. Hope everybody can rotate.
Yeah,
as fast as possible.
I mean, as your Boston, you've got to also just kind of hope that the threes aren't falling. That'll be the big problem. So it's going to be it's really going to be intriguing. I'm looking forward to seeing what Philly does tomorrow night against the Celtics. We'll see. Can they stay alive? All right. Well, that's going to do it for the NBA coverage, partner. Got about 30 minutes left.
Got draft
NFL
grades.
draft grades.
I am happy. Saints are all in on Tyler Shook. Go 3 wide receivers, a tight end, a guard. Like, come on now.
Let's go.
We got a big pickups in the off season.
Yeah.
With O-line and running back. We are. Where do we even start?
Well, we can start with your Saints, man, because I loved their draft. I gave them an A on their draft grade here.
I also gave us an A. I really do think we need a linebacker still, but there's still some time in the off season. We're still signing a bunch of free agents. Think we might have signed an undrafted free agent linebacker, but we filled pretty much every other spot of need. We added some depth and competition to the wide receiver room that I like. Possible rotation, possible starting defensive tackle, Kristen Miller.
I'm going to join their studio so I'm going to put up my draft grades on the screen here for everybody.
Okay.
These are the ones I did. Then I'll also go through, I kind of did like a, who I thought was the best overall, your biggest reach or maybe lowest value picks that each team had. Guys I thought, like excluding first rounders, might have had the biggest ceiling, and then some like biggest steals or best sleeper picks out of the draft. So here we go. It was just a Google Doc. It's not too fancy, unfortunately, but
there it is.
Let me know if I can. Everyone can hopefully see that.
Then we got.
There you go. That's most of them. Then there's a few down here. I'll leave it here. I'll leave it right here for now. Yep. I gave the Saints an A. I really liked what they did.
Yeah, we filled a lot of holes in need. Competition in the wide receiver room. Possible competition for Cesar Ruiz's spot with Jeremiah Wright. Got Kristen Miller, obviously. Lorenzo Styles, going to be good, experienced upperclassman guy that we got later on. It's TJ Hall, too. Solid corner pickup.
I went Jordan Tyson, I thought was like your best overall player. I think I said TJ Hall just as like maybe gives the least value, just, 7th round corner. You don't know what you're going to get out of that. But I don't hate that pick. It's some depth, if anything. I think your guy with the highest ceiling outside of Tyson, Oscar Delp. I mean, he could really be like Brock Bowers 2.0, I think, if everything goes right. And then Bryce Lance is my biggest sleeper, even steal. Like, I think Lance could have gone way earlier in the 4th or at the end of the 3rd. So,
oh yeah,
I really liked Lance as a prospect, and I think now that's a good situation where he can kind of play out of the slot, and he's just got a lot of quickness, a lot of speed, so you can kind of use while his route running work develops a little bit more. you can still take advantage of all that speed and athleticism that he has. And then now you've got just two, I think, fantastic route runners. Olave is a really good runner. Tyson, I thought, was the best overall receiver. He's got great hands and he's really explosive after the catch.
His catching ability and the way that he can just track the ball in the air as well. Really feel like we could kind of make this guy another Marcus Colston with his route running ability. He's not as big, but we really got a more dynamic wide receiver room now. Got a big body guy, got some speed, you have route running. And now, there's competition now because we still got all those guys in the last 2 weeks of the season that were getting their reps in for us while everybody was hurt. So we'll see what happens in the offseason. I mean, well, it seems like the days of Dante Pettis in the slot are over.
Yeah.
Saints fans.
Saints have had one of the better off seasons, I'll say. I really have loved what they've done. Really, not to mention like David Edwards, bringing him in and then getting Travis Achan, I guess. Apparently, that still doesn't sound right, but yeah,
it's that Louisiana, that Cajun.
It's been
pronunciation.
Really who
I'm
else
happy with their off season. The crown.
I like Cade Ellis at linebacker too. That was a really good pickup.
Oh yeah, we really don't need a linebacker because we got him. Look at me, man. The Mickey Loomis redemption arc has been awesome the last 2 seasons. It's really been great. I can't wait to see what this team does next year.
All right. Well, we'll jump over my Broncos, who I also gave an A draft grade to, because honestly, I think we did pretty good with the late picks that we had. I wasn't a huge fan of us trading back, but also it was kind of like all the players we wanted sort of got taken, or I think all the players we would have gone for. I think like maybe only Max Clare was like the only guy we might have had a shot at, but I guess the front office wasn't really liking him. So I don't hate the trading back. I mean, it was just, if we weren't going to move up, it was just heartbreaking to watch CJ Allen and Stowers go back to back. And then like we watched Josiah Trotter shortly after that. And then like literally the pick before us, Anthony Hill Jr. goes.
A lot of the guys you were really looking at.
Yeah, it was brutal, but gave us an A. I think overall, our best overall pick is going to be Jonah Coleman. I really liked Coleman's tape. I think he's going to give us, I mean, a lot of like, especially if Dobbins can't stay healthy, like his in between the tackle running abilities is phenomenal.
You got a guy you can use for that.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of like Ray Rice or Maurice Jones-Drew, like a
little stocky dude,
undersized back, but just runs with such power and aggression that it really makes up for us. Like even if he's
strong,
incredibly explosive, like he is gonna get, like he's gonna average like 5-6 yards a carry. Like he averaged like 12 at Washington, which is crazy because like they also like Washington ran into some pretty good defenses, like in Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon in the Big Ten last year.
And they were a pretty good team. I think they won like 8 or 9 games last year, so pretty solid.
I guess this is just my least favorite pick was on Yedidum, just because we do kind of need some D tackle depth with John Franklin Myers leaving. I just felt like there was maybe other positions that we could have addressed with that pick. But I do like his tape. I think he'll be he'll be a very good rotational piece for us down the line. Yeah. So I'm all right with it. My highest ceiling, and I left Jonah Coleman out because I said he was the best overall. I think Justin Jolly could really develop into an excellent,
a good tight end.
Like he's already a pretty good route runner, and he's got great hands. So I think like if he gets a little more explosion to his game, like he could be really good. So I think I like him to have a lot of upside. And then I think our biggest steal was Red Burdock at Mr. Irrelevant. Like Red honestly could have gone in the first round, dude. He was a dog at Buffalo. I know you're saying, oh, it's Buffalo, it's a max school, but I mean, he had
best linebacker in college football rebuild that I've had.
Yeah,
he's a beast on that game.
He is like he can really do it all. Like he's great against the run. He's good in pass coverage. So I think that could be a steal for us. But how else did other teams do? I say we'll just start going in alphabetical order on this one.
I think it'll be the Cardinals at the very top.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Love at 3. I didn't even expect. What'd you give him?
I gave him an A.
Got him an A.
A minus. I thought it was a pretty solid draft overall. Love is obviously, I think, going to be the best overall player. Like maybe a bit of a reach for them, but especially after you sign Tyler Algier, your line needs some work. But hey, I get it. Like you see a guy that could potentially be a generational prospect, and you want to go get him. So
maybe you see some value in Algier because dude gets signed to a team and then they draft another starter. This is the second time that's happened to him. Where he went to the Falcons and they drafted Bijan Robinson.
The Falcons drafted him, and then 1 year later drafted Bijan. He had 1,000 yards as a rookie. I feel poor Tyler Algier, man. He just never can get his own.
Hopefully they see some value and he can go somewhere else.
I gave Carson Beck the biggest reach or like lowest value. It was, I don't know, to me it was a little, I didn't feel like he was a third round talent. I would have addressed some other needs and maybe hoped that tried to go after him. But it kind of makes sense with the Brissett holdout. So
yeah, and then you also had pretty much everyone else was already picked at that point because it was kind of a surprise to everybody that the Rams went Ty Simpson at 13. And then you had really no other options to go with.
Yeah.
Drew Aller went to the Steelers, pretty sure shortly after. Carson Beck went to Arizona. I mean, your options were limited.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to get in a running back and the weapons that they got. I mean, you go ahead and give the runner-up national champion QB a shot.
Give him a shot.
Why not?
All right, the highest ceiling, I think I gave that to Chase Besantis. I mean, this guy's just a mauler in the run game. I think he'll make an immediate impact there. And as he gets better with as a pass blocker, like he's already solid in that area. But I think if that really develops into an elite level, like you're looking at like a perennial all-pro could potentially be his ceiling. And then Caleb Proctor, Southeast Louisiana, Eastern Louisiana. I gave that the biggest sleeper. I like that. He's just a massive unit of a man. On to the Falcons. For them, I gave a B+. I thought they had a solid draft. I think their first 2 picks were great. And then the rest of their picks were solid. They were just kind of like, for me, Kendall Daniels and Perkins Jr. I liked in the kind of later rounds. But the best overall, I gave that to Avian Terrell. The biggest reach or lowest value, I just said Ethan Onawana, their final pick. Because, we'll see if he's
well, probably won't be too much of a difference maker unless there is injuries.
Right. Like maybe if there's injuries, but that's really the only way I see him getting on the field. Highest ceiling, I think, is Alvy's absolutely Zachariah Branch. This guy,
he's good.
He's so fast. I mean, he'll be an elite slot prospect for them right now too. But he's got incredible athleticism. He is just so explosive. Is a little bit raw of a route runner, but he's got he was phenomenal at Georgia, and I think he could just be an absolute home run hitter if he develops right.
I'm gonna say
And I said Perkins was their biggest sleeper.
Yeah, him or Daniels probably breaks out because one of those two guys is going to get a lot of reps.
Yeah.
In this season, you just lost Ellis. I mean, your defense got some holes. They're gonna have some opportunity for a lot of growth at linebacker.
The Ravens, we got them here. I gave them a B plus. I think their best overall player, Iona, obviously. I mean, that guy was the best guard prospect in the draft. You needed some help in the interior after free agency kind of didn't go your way, so I like that there. I said Matthew Hibner was their biggest reach or lowest value. I mean,
right.
He's all right. I just think there are maybe better tight ends you could have gone with. I didn't even really.
They went with 2 picks later, which kind of makes it seem like, like why'd you even?
Well, that didn't really make any sense to me. That was probably the stuff that was the 2 picks I didn't like the most. Randall was also a bit of an underwhelming pick, but the rest of them I really liked. So I said Elijah Surratt, I think, has the highest ceiling potential, dude. He's got a great receiver frame, and his catch radius is wild. So, I mean, yeah, he's got a lot of attributes that could turn him into a really elite talent. And then Rayshon Benny, I think, was the biggest steal. He dropped a lot further.
I didn't think that was going to happen.
So they've got, I mean, in the 7th round, I mean, they might have found a monster in their interior defensive line there.
I completely forgot.
Yeah.
For the Cardinals, they could have gone with Cade Klubnik there instead of I feel like that might have been a better pick for him.
Garrett Nussmeier was also celebrating.
He went undrafted.
No, he was like one of the final picks to Kansas City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which that was, we'll get to that if we get to the Chiefs. On to the Bills. To just keep us going with, they didn't have a 1st-round pick. I gave their best overall, I think, to David Igbinosun. Dude, this guy
needed a corner too.
Yeah.
Like a top guy.
I mean, his only problem, he's an incredibly aggressive corner, so he did draw some pass interferences, but like he was probably, in my eyes, one of the most NFL ready corners. He's great in the press. He's, like I said, super aggressive, big physical corner, but he's got good speed too. So I think this could really be their best overall pick. The biggest reach or whatever, I gave it to Alarms, or I just didn't. I don't know. I thought there might have been better running backs to take at that spot. He's sort of grown on me a little bit as I look more about it. Maybe I'd say Torian Pride out of Missouri at this point, but that he was a 7th rounder. Okay, excluding Davison, I'm going to give their best or highest ceiling to Jude Bowery, the Boston College lineman. And then the biggest sleeper, though, is guard out of Texas A&M, Armaj Reed Adams. I cannot believe he dropped that far, man. I think this guy's
way down to the 7th round.
There
was one dude I at least thought would be on like day 2.
I really thought he was like an early 4th or a 4th round talent. I really did. The Panthers, we have I gave them an A. I gave the Bills an A, but the Panthers I gave an A. Freeling, I think, was the best overall.
So many guys dropped in this draft that they were able to get a lot of really good players. Lee Hunter's a beast.
Yeah.
Brazel is going to be an actual good. I think Xavier Leget's time is over out there.
Oh, yeah.
And Brazel will be Leget 2.0.
No, I love Hecht and Wheatley, like especially how late they got them. Like probably like 70, 80 picks later than where they should have gone. Like those guys are gonna like 2 huge steals. Hecht's gonna be, he doesn't have to play center if they don't need him, but he could definitely fill in as like a guard as well. And then like Wheatley is just was one of my favorite late round prospects, just as as a safety in general. So, and like both of those guys have a lot of experience, Hecht and Wheatley. Like they played long college careers, so they could be immediate impact starters. The Bears. What did I give the Bears? I gave them a B plus. That was a solid draft. I didn't like how long they waited to address defensive tackle,
or that defensive needs. I thought they were going to go for that.
Yeah, or that they didn't draft an edge rusher. And then I think Sam Roche, while he's an excellent tight end prospect, feels like he's going to get buried on their depth chart. But the first two picks, I love Thieneman. Logan Jones, I think, will be a stud. Malik Muhammad's got a crazy high ceiling. And Kayshawn Elliott, huge steal, in my opinion. So I like
pretty good draft.
There are 4 defensive players that they did take I really like. Logan Jones, I think. I know they traded for Garrett Bradbury, but I like Logan Jones could. I think it's just nice to have options there because Bradbury's not going to be nearly the player Dahlman was, and it's nice to give yourself a little insurance there. And then Xavier Thomas, I think will work well out of the slot as you move Burden outside with him and Adunze outside, or maybe you want Thomas to play on the outside. Gives you some options in the receiving core. So overall, pretty solid draft though. Just think they really should have gone with an edge rusher over Roche, but I digress. The Bengals, I gave them a C plus. It was an alright draft. I just think they I don't like that they passed on what's his name, McNeil Warren, who went a lot later. I think like a safety like that would have been huge for them. I don't hate Cassius Howell though. It's a good pass rusher. I think Connor Liu, if he comes back from that injury, the ACL injury, that's their best overall player like that.
Yeah, he was literally ranked at number 1 in the offensive lineman like midway through college football.
He would have been a first round.
This injury, this injury would have put him up there.
I guess the reach or least value, Landon Robinson, phenomenal player at Navy. You don't know with the exemption if that's going to go through. Also, the country kind of is at war, so I don't know how
I don't know
to let service members like opt out of their service. So there's that.
Gonna work.
But he is a beast. So I mean, if he does get to play it'll work out. Sicario Davis, I think he's got a really high ceiling. Again, one of those. He's just got he's a little bit of a bigger corner too, and so like just a guy that's gonna match up well against NFL wide receivers, or like will take less time to develop. And then Brian Parker, I think in the 6th round, huge steal, man. I could have seen Brian Parker going like in the 3rd if the team really loved him. How about their Cleveland or their Ohio counterparts? I really like the Browns draft. I think they had a good draft.
Good draft.
I gave them
a waste on Talon.
Give them a.
Probably could have got somebody else, but
yeah,
Fano, that's a dope pick. You get Concepcion, and you still get Denzel Boston. That's good depth.
Yeah, like now you've got
McNeil Warren.
That was a
amazing,
huge steal. He's got the highest ceiling out of anybody there.
Austin Barber. That's a solid pickup too, honestly. I mean, he's pretty good.
Up until the Justin Jefferson pick, I think they were really great. Like,
yeah.
And then taking 2 tight ends and Taylon Green, I was like, well, like, oh, I mean, I guess maybe you could use some tight end depth behind Fannin. And I think they're going to try to use Taylon Green will probably be like used for his athleticism. I don't know necessarily he'll be playing a lot of quarterback. I think Parker Brailsford,
interesting situation.
Getting him at 146,
that's a steal right there.
So,
yeah, all the way up until that Joe Royer pick, who is a pretty solid tight end. but I don't think you really need. You know, you got 4 guys. You got Fannin. You still have Njoku, and then you just picked up these 2 for no reason. I feel like they could have went more. Got some more depth on the offensive line.
All right, well, we got 5 minutes. Why don't we just? I'll speed run and give the rest of the grades I gave, just in case you can't. I know it's a little small, so maybe people can't see them. But for the Cowboys, I gave them a B. Obviously, we talked about the Broncos. I gave them an A. The Lions, I gave a B plus. Packers got a B. I gave the Texans a C. Colts, I really loved their draft despite not having a first round pick. They got one of the few A pluses I gave out. The Jags,
they did great.
Jags got a D plus. The Chiefs get a B. I also gave the Raiders an A plus. I think the Raiders killed it in the draft, unfortunately.
It was a great draft.
They got a steal in Jermon McCoy. Holy crap, dude.
They got him in the 4th round, dude.
That injury thing that made him drop, like that guy, oh my God. If he actually stays healthy, he could just be a terror. The Raiders, I said the Raiders. The Chargers, I gave a B minus to. The Rams, I gave a D. I gave the Vikings a D. I gave the Dolphins a D. I gave the Vikings a C. The Patriots a B. The Saints, obviously, I gave them an A. Giants got a B plus. The Jets got my last A plus of the draft. Eagles got a B plus. Steelers got a B. I gave the Niners a C minus. The Seahawks a B minus. An A for Tampa Bay and Tennessee, and then Washington with a C plus.
Jets might be all right, man. Give Cade Klubnik a chance. Give Cade Klubnik a chance, man.
They just didn't have a pick that I hate, or that I thought was bad, or
Pons
a reach or not valuable, man.
Cooper's going to be a great addition to the receiver room.
They had the best first round, dude. They got an elite edge rushing prospect, and then the best tight end prospect, and a phenomenal wide receiver prospect, dude. Like Cooper's, that's the thing, is like he's like alongside Garrett Wilson. So, and then Darrell Jackson, I loved where they got him. Like I think he could really be a beast. I don't hate, I think they waited a good amount before they took Klubnik. And then the next Cooper and VJ Payne. I cannot
How did they fall that
I cannot
far?
believe VJ Payne fell to the 7th. And Cooper to the 6th. Like, what? Those 2 guys are going to be studs. They're going to be huge steals.
That's just crazy.
I do like the Eagles, man. They stole Lemon from the Steelers, and then watching them take Stowers. Oh, that hurt. That really hurt. I secretly love this Cole Payton pick. I think he could be like their Taysom Hill type of player. But then, I don't know, Jalen Hurts, he's already kind of very Jalen Hurts-esque in the way he plays. If he just develops his passing a little bit more, maybe it's time to renew Hurts' contract. You've already got his replacement there, but he's a guy that can come in and do other things for you. And your offense really, what you do, your offense won't have to change much, because he's kind of a vanilla Jalen Hurts. It's
got a similar build, both really strong guys. It's definitely an interesting scenario.
All right, well, we've come to the conclusion of our show here today. We're gonna have to get off the air.
Signing off one last
time,
everybody.
Might not have a show next week, but I'm working the maybe bring back Chicken Little and keep the sports going. So stay tuned. Might be on a different day, or we might take this slot.
And from all of us here at MBR Caveman.
Yeah, one last thing. Gotta go. Thanks everyone for watching this show for this long. All the supporters, all our families and stuff tuning in.
And Caveman, thank you for being here for 3 years.
Thank you. And everyone that viewed for the last 3 years, that's what helps us keep coming back to the studio, you know. All the people watching and commenting and giving us questions about sports. That's what it's all about. So thanks everyone for for tuning in. I'll still be in. This won't be in person, so we'll be back. Hopefully on the same time slot and everything. That would be pretty nice. We'll see what happens though. So this has been Till the Final Whistle, everybody. The final episode, the last ride. Thanks for watching.
Life is like a duck. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Here at Military Broadcast Radio, we're teaming up with our friends at Die Tired, the veteran-friendly music band spreading strength, resilience, and mental health awareness one shirt at a time.
And check this out. Their brand new shirts feature broadcast beaker right on the breast pocket. A reminder that you can weather the storm, and you're never alone.
Shirts are only $25, and proceeds support giving veterans a voice. MBR's mission to teach veterans how to podcast and videocast. Because when our vets are talking, they're not overthinking. They're not second-guessing. Together, we stop the 22 stigma. Grab your shirt today at mbradio.us and hit the shop. Or go directly to toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband. That's toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband.
Suit up, stand strong.
Remember, we're unduckable together.
You're built tougher than the storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.